Hello, Northwestern students and parents. This is Hezekiah Massey, principal of Northwestern High School. With our imminent return to campus, I understand that you have deep concerns related to our operations and safety as we begin to reunite as a Trojan family. Rest assured, our administration truly understands the concerns and anxiety that may come with this new normal. In order to help alleviate some of the stress and concerns, we have called on student volunteers, teachers, and other members of the Trojan family to help present you with this informational video. We hope that it gives you insight into our new normal at Northwestern and provides you with the encouragement to prepare your mindset for a school year where, as always, we have your safety concerns first. This year will be one where we learn and grow together from day one. So to get us started, let's take a first look at the protocols we have set in place to ensure the safety of our Trojans as they return to campus. As you watch, we encourage you to discuss these new and different procedures at home to ensure you are all prepared for the transition back to campus. We have complete faith that you will embrace this new Trojan way and continue to do what is best for our Trojan family. Thank you, stay safe, and as always, go Trojans!
In making sure our students are safe as possible and are doing the most to reduce the possible spread of COVID-19, we must first address how students will start their day and arrive on campus. Students, whether a bus rider, car rider, or student driver, are encouraged to wear masks in their travels from home and to school. We understand there may be stops along the way, but it's important to make sure students are limiting their interaction with each other in the community and on their way to and from school. For students who are bus riders, buses will operate on their regular routes. Boarding these buses will be at 67% capacity. Students boarding buses are expected to wear a mask during their duration of the ride, and the bus windows, when applicable, will be open and vents will be open while transporting students to and from school. Once entering campus, students will enter through one of the four main entry points of the campus: the senior gate, the front of the school or the welcome center, the bus loop gate, or the Legacy Guard entrance. In our next section, we will discuss what students can expect once they have arrived on campus. Once students have arrived on campus, they will be greeted by an administrator and various teachers on duty for the particular entrance. If students do not have face coverings, they will be provided one and ushered to the building of their first block class. If students wish to grab breakfast, they will be offered a grab-and-go option, being encouraged to grab their breakfast and move to the building of their first class. Once students arrive in their building, they are to avoid congregating in the hallways, remaining 6 feet apart, and keeping their face masks on and faces covered. Once the bell rings, students are to go straight to their first block class. With the day coming to an end, students will be dismissed at a staggered dismissal time. This is to discourage congregating in the various parts of the campus. Students dismissed at certain times will exit their classroom with mask on and transition to their dismissal area for the day. As with entering the campus, teachers and administrators will be available to facilitate a smooth dismissal process, discouraging students from congregating and getting them to their dismissal areas quickly.
As it may come as no surprise, students will be experiencing a different classroom setup upon entering the classroom this year. All Northwestern classrooms and protocol will follow the same setup and interaction guidelines that parallel the suggestions set forth by DHEC and the Center for Disease Control. Along with reduced class sizes, desks will be 6 feet apart in order to facilitate social distancing. Desks that are not being used by students may or may not be removed from your classroom to be used in other capacities. Any desks that are not removed can be used as spacing barriers and or stacked in the corners of your room. Teachers will wear face shields, and for the duration of class, students will wear masks. While we feel that the learning process can be one of collaboration, we do want to stress that students are not to share materials, not to pass them about the classroom, or touch each other. Students will remain socially distant at all times. We know that following the rules and protocols will allow for a decreased likelihood of transmission of the COVID-19 and continue to keep our learning environment safe for all participants. Once again, students are to continue social distancing until dismissal for the next class period. The expectation will be for teachers to spray and wipe down student desks between classes with disinfectants provided by the district. During transition, students are to travel the hallways purposefully to get to their next class. While traversing campus, students are to continue social distancing, wear a mask, and refrain from congregating during this time. Students wishing to use the restroom are to do so in a timely manner, but being mindful of the importance of thoroughly washing your hands. Additional hand sanitizing stations will be placed throughout the campus, and it is highly recommended that all persons on campus take advantage of them. As previously stated, during class changes, teachers will take the opportunity to sanitize desks. Teachers should also attempt to make sure students are moving vigilantly to their next class and abiding by the health protocols. Hello Trojans, I'm here to give you a little bit of information on how things are going to look this year. We all know it's going to be different, but that's going to include lunchroom and how the cafeteria is going to be set up and how you're going to eat your lunch. So if you'll follow along with me, I'll give you a little bit of insight on what you can expect for lunch. So the most important thing is to remember that you have to have your mask on when you're coming into the cafeteria. Also, remaining 6 foot apart from your colleagues and your friends and your peers. You've got to stay 6 foot apart. Social distancing is of the essence. But we want you to have a good lunchroom experience, so let me explain to you just a little bit about how it's going to look so that you can be healthy and you can be happy and you can be full. So follow along just a little bit. As you know, we normally have a number of stations here in the cafeteria. We have the grab and go. We have the station back in the corner. Many of those will be cut this year because of the social distancing. So I want to tell you we'll have 3 stations to use this year. We're going to have the pizza station, which everybody loves. We're going to have the hot station, and we're going to have the nacho and hamburger station. Those will be the 3 primary stations that we use. So students will enter through the main doors like always. There'll be 2 lines, and you'll have to remain 6 foot apart. You'll have to stay socially distant, and you will break off to the line of your choice, get your food, go to your table while keeping your mask on, of course. You may take your mask off while you're actually eating, but once you finish eating, the mask must go back on. The tables that we are normally used to sitting in here at the lunchroom will not be used. You will see the tables when you walk in. They're going to be set up as barriers between the lines and where the young people are eating. So we want to keep the lines away from the diners. We will have actual student desks in the lunchroom that are going to be 6 foot apart. You'll grab a seat and a desk, you'll eat just like always, throw your food away, and you can either return to your desk or you can go outside of the courtyard where you'll also need to remain socially distanced. Expect that things are going to be different, but things are going to run smooth. If everybody does their part, everybody can once again stay happy, healthy, and enjoy a pleasant dining experience. So if you follow me just a little bit, we'll go out into the courtyard and we'll show you what it's going to look like out there. So out here in the courtyard, you can still dine out here, but you have to follow the protocols. You can come out here and enjoy your friends after you eat. But remember, we have to adhere to social distancing, and it is very important. We have the tables over here. We have benches. We have the sitting around a tree. All of these things are well within the limits of what you can do. It's just the actual amount of students that can sit at them that's important. So if we'd like to walk over here to the table, I can show you how many people can sit at the table and how many people can sit at the bench so that everybody has a wonderful experience while in the courtyard and enjoying their time. Here at these tables where ordinarily 6 to 8 students normally sit, that cannot be the case this year. These large tables can only hold 2 students this year. Unfortunately, that's the amount of social distancing we have to follow, and that's what you'll see. That's what you'll have to do. So sitting at these tables, 2 students can sit at each table. Over here at the benches that you see, the ones that are under the breezeway, 2 students can sit at each one of those. Around the rock walk, as many as we can put around the rock walk where every student is 6 foot apart. You can certainly stand around and talk as long as you remember to be socially distant and you keep your mask on at all times. I know that these are strange times. I know that this is different, but we have to do it. We have to all do our part to stay healthy and happy so that our school experience can be one to remember.
I'm sure you're wondering what our overall schedule will look like now that we have an idea of what our day-to-day arrival and dismissal will be. Northwestern will operate on a C-A-B hybrid schedule. This means that students will attend 4 class blocks a day, 2 times a week, either Tuesday, Thursday for students with the last name starting with A through K, or Purple Group, or Wednesday and Friday for L through Z, our Gold Group. On at-home days, learning and assignments will continue for students for all classes, and students will need to complete modules in order to stay on top of studies and have attendance guidelines met. Rather than have flex time as we have had Tuesdays through Thursdays in the last 2 years, Mondays will be known as C days, which is the designated time for students to get extra help, have questions answered, and partake in enrichment projects. Students will attend C days on a rotational basis, and the schedule can be found in the Canvas calendar. Through the CAB plan, NHS will be able to keep class sizes low and follow social distancing guidelines while providing students an opportunity for in-person instruction.
Another area of concern related to scheduling is that of after-school events. It is of utmost importance to extend our safety precautions to our extracurricular activities. Advisors, directors, and coaches will hold all possible meetings online. For meetings that are unable to take place and conduct business through online capabilities, the protocol for after-school events begins as soon as students are dismissed at their designated dismissal times. Students are to go to their respective after-school areas and continue to adhere to the mask policy and social distancing guidelines. For certain activities, there may be a limited number of students who can participate at a given time, and in some cases, students may need to pass a temperature check in order to partake in small groups without a mask. As stated, students are to continue to wear a mask and social distance as much as possible during these after-school activities.
We at Northwestern would like to highlight the importance of everyone doing their part. In these times where social distancing and masks are our new normal and the rules have changed to reflect that, we want to encourage students to follow all mask and social distancing guidelines. We want our students to be cognizant of how their actions may affect others and make others feel in terms of their safety. Students are to wear a face covering that is secured and covers both their mouth and nose at all times. They are to remain 6 feet apart in distance, and it is imperative that they do not share any materials or devices. As with any regulation related to student conduct, teachers and administrators must also adapt to enforcing these guidelines. Students who are non-compliant with social distancing and the mask protocol will be subject to disciplinary action and parental contact. At the end of the day, our priority as a Trojan family is to provide a safe learning environment, and we want all students to do their share.
While we are taking our measures to limit the spread of COVID-19 and trust in our parents, students, faculty, and staff to follow guidelines to the best of their ability, we must also prepare for an instance if there is a positive case on our campus. If a student is found to have a positive case on our campus, we will implement a method of isolation, contact tracing, and parent notification. A student who is found to have symptoms of COVID-19 on campus will be escorted to an isolated area by the nurse, and the parents will be notified. We will then use a method of contact tracing to identify other students if the symptomatic student is found to have a positive test for COVID-19.
In order to provide the highest level of quality support for our students, we are offering our multi-tiered support services through our counseling department, nurse's office, and overall administration. These services are available for students who are attending Virtual Academy, as well as students who have opted for the hybrid model of learning. The protocol has changed as students who need to meet with the counselors, nurse, or administration must alert their teacher or any adult and begin the process for securing a meeting with their desired service. In short, if there is any need for support in any way, let an adult know. Our faculty and staff are extremely plugged in to the work of those offering support service and will make the necessary communications to ensure that students receive the support they need in a timely manner.
Thank you for taking the time to watch through our informative video. We hope that we have alleviated any of your anxiety concerning our return to school and have left you more prepared for this upcoming school year. In conclusion, we would like to provide you with some reminders. Day 1 for in-person instruction will be A Day, and students will attend on Tuesday, September 8th. Day 1 for in-person instruction for our B Day students will be Wednesday, September the 9th. Students will have received schedules by mail along with other important information and will be expected to follow through with the protocol aforementioned within this video. Students should come prepared to engage in the learning process while wearing masks and practicing social distancing. Our first C Day will be the following Monday, September 14th. This C Day will be reserved for state-mandated MAP testing for freshmen. Lastly, we plan to host a virtual open house so that parents can take an opportunity to get to know their students, teachers, and make meaningful connections that will continue to influence classroom success. Our virtual open house is scheduled for September 15th at 6 p.m. Links and access information will be provided in the coming weeks. We hope to see you there. Once again, we thank you for your time in watching this video. We know that you will use this information as a means of preparing for our upcoming school year and helping make our return a success. We want to wish you the best in the last few weeks of your extended summer, and we look forward to having our wonderful students back on our campus soon. As always, take care, stay safe, and go Trojans!